Welcome back to class, dear students. In this lesson, we are discussing about CSS syntax, CSS selectors, and combinators. So, in the previous lesson, I've introduced you to CSS. We are now, and also did the practical, we are able to, differentiate between our CSS, inline, internal, and external CSS, which are the three major ways you write CSS. And we have come to the conclusion that the external is the professional and production, easy to manage and scalable way of attaching CSS to your DApp and the website. That's the centralized website. Now, if you really want to understand those things, we can't do it without learning about the CSS syntax. So, because they are the building block. But like I always tell you, this course isn't just to all of those things in CSS or anything. If you want to learn more, that's why I add resources. These resources are damn helpful for you. Read more, learn more. But I try my best to ensure the basic things you need to get started, plus support of AI along the way, we are covered in this lesson. So now we are going to look at, let's say CSS syntax basics. CSS rules are made of selector, like we learned previously, and declaration block, and which has the declaration itself inside. Each declaration contains properties and their values. Like we have discussed, this will be the selector, like in our case from the previous lesson, which will be like this body now. Selector, here is the declaration block, and here are the actual declaration, which usually consists of property and the value of the property. You want background color, then you need to give the value, what color with that background color should be. So you need a font. That's like how it should be displayed, like welcome, how should it be displayed, the lettering and all those things, the font for it, then header and all those things. So those are what this is pointing to. So let's talk about CSS selectors. Now, if for you to now do this CSS selectors, there are different ways, which means there are different ways you can target HTML element to apply a CSS declaration or properties to it. So how do you make the selector? There are different ways. We have the element selector, targets HTML element directly. So that's what we have been seeing here. Like, just go directly to that HTML element, like body element. You see, we have it here. So it directly targets this body element. We targeted the header. So anything in this, don't confuse. Header element, HTML element, is visible. It's like the title. It's different from the kind of metadata, like the browser metadata, SEO, and all those things like that. So the head is different from the header. So the head contents are not visible within the body of the browser and those things. So inside that header, we've targeted it. You can see this navigation, URL, and things like that. So nav URL. So we are targeting. There are different ways you target them, which we have said the first one is the element selector. We just select, go and pick the P element, go and target the body element, the header element, or whatever. So the next one is you can target with class selector. So this will have to be the class name. And in such a case, you will usually have to set like a class inside the HTML. You can see like this now. So you have to set a class inside of it. Now, okay, this is a class that I want to, like, class, you see it, equals to article class. So just similar to what you are saying here. So then you can now be able to target it here, which follow the same something. But the difference there is that if you want to target this now, this article class, you don't just do this. You see that you just target the element, but in terms of class, this will be like, let's try and copy this. Let me see if the AI will do this. Target, so is AI age, you had better just learn how it works. Target the class. Class article. So styling for the article. Let's see if it will do something for us. Good. Do you see it now? Let's see if this works. I'm coming. Those are what I was telling you, that's why you cannot, and all our courses are enhanced with AI, because I can't be using AI to enhance myself, 10x my development skill, 10x my productivity. What would have taken set of 3-5 developer to do, I can now do it alone. Would have taken us maybe a month. I can now do it maybe in like 2 weeks or even less. So I can't be doing that and still come and be teaching the old way. No. So our courses at dProgramming University, that's why they are mostly, you see, AI enhanced. It's not to sell or to ride on AI hype. No, it's to actually show you how I do this, or any of our instructor creating the content make use of those AI to enhance. So let's see if we save this. We targeted the article. Oh, what I did was article class, not class article. So if you see it now, instead of me to say article class, which we target nothing because there is no actual element here that bears article class, but there is a class here. So the advantage of class targeting by, if you are targeting by element, you already know that you have to just target the element. If you say article, then every element like article may have that and things like that. But what about if you want to apply it on like multiple elements, like I want to apply it in this aside. You understand? Let's say class A. Yeah, that would be more. Class A, I want to apply this same thing inside aside. You get the point now? So with this now, if I just say article, which is targeting by element, like we've seen here, like here, it will just apply to article. It won't apply to aside. Do you understand what I'm saying? It won't apply inside the aside. But with class, I can use that class multiple places. Now let's even link them first. Let's see. So we should have this to become class A. Yeah. but it won't work anyway because there's nothing like that. So for us to do this to work, it's not an element, it's a class. So to point a class, you do dots. Do you see it? That the moment I do dots, even if I do like this and I start typing dots, do you see it now? So class A. I'm coming. So you will notice that this, you remember it was the AI that created it for us. So it just used the same style we have with our headings to create the article. And remember, the article part is the one with this introduction. So if you look at it now, we have successfully applied this class inside this as well. If I copy this same thing now, just watch. Or I just come here, I do class A. Then let's save again and watch, learn more. This learn more, let's see what it will do. Do you see it? That it applies similar, is because they are close to each other. That's why it seems as if they joined together. You see it. If these were close to them, they will also join together. So that's just what I'm just trying to is to show you that apart from being able to target your CSS with directly with element, you can also target HTML element or HTML tag. You can also target with class. And the advantage of classes is that you are able to use classes across multiple places. So you are limited by element because element will just header is header. So if I want to apply these same settings, I applied it under header, under what do we call it now? Under this, let's even change this to header. Yeah, class header. Yeah, I'm coming. They will all vanish. I want to show you something. Yep. Now, let's turn this back to header. We don't even need this. Let's clear it. And let's come back here. Just turn this to dots, add dots, that's all, and then save. You will see that those things removed from here and was only applied here. Then to have it also here, we just need to come over to the HTML and then look for the header and then include that class as well. Class header or header. Boom. You can see it now. So we have this. I can pull up, a break here to differentiate them. Do you see it now? So they are separate. So you can see that before, this same header was only able to, target just this header here. But now that same setup, I can now use it in different HTML elements within the page or several thousands of pages that I want to use it, because it's now on classes. I hope I've been able to make sense with this. Good. Now, once you have grabbed that concept and see why do we need it, then the same is why we use ID. But the only difference, which we will see here, I think, we have ID selector. You understand? Target element with a specific ID, example ID name, background color. You understand? So now, this ID targeting, let me see, is just like this. See, boom. But in this case, if I want to do ID targeting here, you understand? If I want to do ID targeting here, let's say copy let's see styling, let's see if it creates something for us. Now you can see the difference. If you are using class, you will use dots, but if you want to target ID, you use this arch, then the name of the ID. So, and as usual, just like class, you should have added that ID inside. So let's see if anything comes up. Let's save this. So we have the ID home, background, size, height. Let's see. ID home, introduction. Let's remove this first. You see, it must be unique. I mean, when linking, using scripting. So, one of the difference between this ID and class is that, unlike here now that I was able to use previously, I was able to use header class ID. You will notice this ID home, ID mint. You understand what I'm saying now? So each has their own identification. It's like unique ID. So that's just the difference. Class, you use dots. That's one. For ID, you use hash. But ID is unique. When you need that styling to be unique to that specific element in that you want to style. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to make sure I explain so you can get it. So you understand what I'm saying now? So ID means, you see, instead of using class header, I can come and then use ID equals to mint. You don't understand? It's expected to be unique. You understand what I'm saying? It's expected to be unique for all those styling you are doing. So let's clear that. So those are part of the differences between them. I think the ID is not picking up. ID. So you can just give it a try. That's why, like I told you, all this you are just learning it, not because you have to sit down and write all these things yourself. CSS can be so confusing. I'm telling you, especially when you are building a more kind of real life comprehensive project. So that's why it's always advisable, which we'll still get to at the end of the this section, feature other lessons. We'll still learn about CSS frameworks, that all these things has been created for you. You can just use them in your project, and they will be vetted by professionals and all those things. So you don't need to, because you can easily mix things up and make things cumbersome for you to manage. So it's just good for you to have ideas. So when you start using those things, you can be able to identify them. Did I? Okay. Yeah. So you can be able to identify them as well, to know what they are for and why they where you can use them and things like that. So I think any other aspect here. Then we have the attribute selector, target element based on attribute. So in this case now, you are targeting based on the attribute of that particular element you want to. So like the attribute, that any element that has this attribute, and you know attributes are things you put in your HTML element, like the alt in images and all those things, like description in your title to describe what that title is about. So you can also target it in this format to target the input for you. You understand? So for example, if target element based on attribute, then we have CSS combinators, which are like where at times you combine, you go deep, like, okay, I want to target this element, this L1 or Li, sorry, element, that's the least element inside this nav bar. So how do I go deep? So that is what Combinator help you to go deeper than just the surface or just using class, or instead of you to now put class in all these ones, you can just target them directly using descendant combinator, target all elements that are descendants of, example, nav ul. All these things you will still see it at work in our code. Child combinator, target direct children elements. So here now you see you target the nav and ul. I think we have an example already here. You see, you are not just targeting, you are targeting the ul. And if you remember from this unordered list, so you are targeting, and this one specifically is going deeper to target the specific each line. So you have the option to target it as well as you work with your CSS. Then you have the child combinator, target direct children element. So you see nav the L display inline. Then adjacent sibling combinator, target the immediate next sibling. You understand? So example, H1 plus paragraph. So you target the adjacent sibling combinator. So you like this. Let's see. an example. I already have some code here, but let me just read through. Then general sibling coordinator. Target all siblings that follow the specified element. An example, H1, then this P. You understand? So let's see some of the code. We have the existing codes here. Then the CSS, so you can see it now. So let's use this, which is an update to what we've got before. So like I told you, don't be scared like, wow. What really matters is just understand this basic. We are in AI age, that's the fact. Once you understand the basic, you understand the structure, okay, when you see this, you know this is styling a kind of child, like this, you see, child combinator, styling link and all those things, you understand them, you understand all this external, you can read, okay, this font, this, then you can use the AI tool to support. Even before AI tool, pro developer can play with search engines. I'm telling you, they always, because these things is like a language. Nobody, it's like you are saying to yourself, like, I must know every word in a dictionary, A to Z, and their meaning, before I can be able to speak that language or be known to be proficient. No, there are just too many. Is what you need, and whenever you meet one you don't know, you search. You understand? So like, for example, I usually use research, which some of you have seen me use severally as well, as it help you, is a decentralized. So if you are interested in joining a decentralized search, so you can try them out, and also have token you earn as you search. So if you want to join through my referral as well, you can let me know. So I will maybe as well add a kind of a banner or something on the programming for those of you that are asking. So that's just it. Yeah, let's go back to see, and let's see what we've got. You can see it now, that we have a lot. You see everything compared to what we've got before. Styling paragraph using adjacent sibling combinator. So this, like an example, let's see where we have H1, H2, you see. So this, we are styling this particular paragraph, which is adjacent. This thing, for me also till now, is still confusing. That's the fact. So I won't deceive you. You don't need to have clarity of when it comes to all these things, because it's the more you use them. If you are dedicated to CSS, then you will soon, but you don't need to have clear 100% of all these things. Just understand how idea they exist. That's it. Just like you won't know every English term before you can start speaking English, because before you can talk to others, work, or do a lot of other things. Because they're like, oh, you don't know the whole dictionary, no, you are not an English person. You understand? So it's just good you know they exist. So you can imagine that H2 plus this. So this is the H2, introduction to token minting. This DApp allows this. So it's like, let me see if it will even let's do 2. You can see it. Let's see 1. That's where you can see the confusion there. Do you see it? So it's saying, like immediate, like adjacent to it, after this, the first P should be given this line. So you can use that across that, okay, anytime you use H2, the first paragraph only that follows should be given this color. But any other paragraph next to it, even if the first paragraph is just a word, it should be. So this can be like introduction, then you can then use this as something like maybe a kind of subtitle. Let's say introduction to token minting, guide to mint your first token. So something like this, you actually don't want to apply it to other contents, which is the main content itself, the guide itself, but you want to use it here. I remember I put the one so that we can identify them, but since we have it now, so let's clean it. You can see guide to mint your first token. So introduction to token minting. Then, so all these are what you can always also ask your AI. This age now, I also use AI for, okay, what's this? For example, let's ask Copilot, explain this. Yeah. You understand? So that's why these things are AI enhanced. We'll be using those AI tools from different angles from one time to the other. You can see this active selection is a CSS tool that targets a specific scenario in your HTML. The H2 plus P selector is known as an adjacent sibling selector. It selects only the P element that are directly following an H2 element. The plus sign is used to denote this relationship. Do you see it now? Yeah. So it's just like I mentioned here, but look at this sibling that follow the specified element. So when you use this, that means if we use this sign, let me copy this sign now, and let's go back and pull it here. Yep. See what's this is what we've got now. The two, let's number it. One again, so that we know this one. But this time around, we want to change it from this to this. Do you see it? So as many P's as possible, paragraph as possible that I have here, they will keep having that style. 3. So I hope we've been able to understand those. This can be confusing, but as you use it, but also just having the idea, like I told you, there are a lot of things. Look at it now. This is Copilot. Yeah, I think presently I pay about 10 USD per month for it. So having all these tools, these are part of the tools I've told you about right from the beginning of these lessons, of this course. It is no more for luxury. It is not just because you feel you are rich or whatever. They're essential to, it's like you're a carpenter and you are not having an hammer or a saw. You understand what I'm saying? You are a painter. You want to paint a house. You don't have ruler. You don't have brush. Do you want to use your teeth? You get the point. So it will make things difficult. It will make your work look unprofessional and then all those things. So you can imagine. So I don't need to go and be, once I see anything, I can easily say, okay, what's this about? You understand the point? Look at what happened then, that we are trying to style, let's say this ID. You can just ask. before we do that, there's something inside there they call at workplace. Do at workplace. What that does is it doesn't do general question. It takes your code. You know, everything you use here is called a workplace. This one now is called a workplace in VS Code. So it takes all this code and you will see it, and try to send it to the AI to check for you. So it will give you more tailored something there. Let's see. Let's see if it will be able to identify it. So let's go. You see it's collecting. So it's trying to collect the structure of my workplace, deciding which one to pick. You can see it. Here is how you can set a blue background. So it's saying we apply a blue background to the element with idiom in your HTML. You can replace blue with any valid color. You can add this rule to your global CSS. Can you imagine? So that means it's actually a home ID in your. So it's actually, if I click here now, it will open to it. Do you see it now? And I can even insert it. Put the cursor where I want it to be, and then insert it. You can see it. Good. Do you see what I was trying to do initially? So it's not, programming is not about, the color is awful anyway, but don't mind that. You can always change it. Boop. That was because of the colors we used for this style. Yeah. So this we could change it to like yellow. Good. You can see it now. So you can see how it was able to point me how it was to it out. So you don't have a lot of reason to stress yourself, but I was able to know I want to style ID because I have the basic understanding of CSS, what an ID and things like that. You understand it now? So that's how you play around, and that's how we go through different aspects of these courses and all our courses now in the programming university to ensure they are AI integrated in realistic way. You will be using it in a day-to-day developer life, work life. So that's it. Look at what we have been able to achieve and learn and do all those things. So that's it now. And any other thing in this. So we have learned this. We have been able to see. So in this lesson provide practical understanding, and always resources are there to as well help you, and you have your AI tools, which by now you should have them set up and invest in these tools. They will get you better, and when you are able to deliver faster, deliver better, do something, you will earn better as well. You will get grants because you will build things that is needed in the Web3, which different blockchain are hungry for. So please embrace these tools, and you move faster. Now that's it. And once you are learning all these things, you can start taking courses, which I expect you might have taken before, how to make money website, Web3 courses like Super Team, where I was able to earn like 20,000 USD in 6 months with $0. Yeah. So all those things are there to help you once you acquire this Web3 development skill. So that's it for this lesson. I will see you in the next one. I remain Solomon Foske of the Programming University. Keep the programming spirited and alive. Your assurance to succeed as a developer. And please always do good to humanity with your knowledge. and programming skill to make the world a better place for us all. Thanks and bye for now.